Yo, what's the word, YouTube? We back with another video, y'all. So we back with another video, and on this video we're gonna be doing the inside of the install. My last video I showed y'all it was an install, but that was the outside. So this gonna be the inside, which is the furnace, which would be the full install. And yes, this is a different day, but pick up some content. So what we do is start off by disconnecting all the electrical, the thermostat wires, and all the wires that go from upstairs down to the control board. And then you want to also make sure that all the power is disconnected, because you don't want to get zapped. You know, that ain't no good feeling. I ain't never got zapped yet, and I ain't trying to. And this, what y'all see me trying to disconnect, is the flue pipe. I tried to disconnect it without taking that screw off, but the screw is like the anchor, so it won't move. But yeah, got that disconnected, and you can see all that came out. Ain't nothing to play with. And then now we're gonna start getting this sheet metal tape cut so we can expose the seams. So that's the S cleat at the top. And then I'm gonna go ahead and undo this Pittsburgh fixing. So you want to get that exposed, because the sheet metal is fit in perfectly through the Pittsburgh. It's like literally perfectly, and it's folded over, and then on top of that they put the tape so it can, you know, protect all that airflow in the inside. And that's right there, you see me like bending up this S cleat. It was giving me a hard time, so I switched to the drain. But yeah, you got that disconnected, and I should have just took the whole drain, the PVC from the drain off right then and there. But you're gonna see me, it's gonna give me a hard time because of this right here. But I should have been took it out. You can see the A coil, but it's not actually an A coil. It's like a L coil. But they usually come in the A's, like a A. But now you see me exposing more of that Pittsburgh fixing. You gotta get that exposed. If you don't get that exposed, man, it's gonna be a hard time. Like I said, you see me right there. Break the PVC off. I should have known, just go right under the transition, because it's like folded. You're gonna see me grab it right now. As soon as I unfolded that thing came right out. Get all that struggling for nothing. I'm gonna pull that right out. Yep. I ain't gonna lie though, this HVAC stuff, slick fun. Huh? It's fun, but it's challenging. You run into stuff like this where you do installs, and you can just take that knowledge and, you know, do whatever you want to do with that knowledge. If you want to play around with it, you can play around with it. If you want to do something with it, do something with it. And right now you see me bringing in some sheet metal for the new transition I'm about to make. It's not going to be a real big transition, but it's going to be nice enough for the fit. That's the new furnace and the new A coil. Here we go. It was giving me a hard time, so I actually was wrong. That bottom fitting didn't, it was the top fitting right here. So once I bent that back, it popped right out. Yeah, there we go. Get that up out of there. You gotta bend that back, man. When he's dealing with these old stuff, you gotta be careful too, because that stuff will cut you up. I think I left this time with like 3 cuts. Take that S cleat up out of there. We're gonna put a new one in there. Take that old A coil up out of there. And disconnect the gas lines, because we're gonna create some new ones. And right now you see me, I had to go get my pipe wrench, because I want to make sure you get that stability on that. And now you see me posting for Facebook. Yeah, this is just like a little accomplishment feeling, man. You know what I'm saying? When you do some things, you know, that you're supposed to do, and you lock in on what you do, you you feel a little proud. So, you got to post all the moments, so you can look back, look at them and be like, damn, I did that. So that was like what you see right here, just me, just reflecting like, dang, man, I didn't came from a lot, I mean, really not a lot, but I didn't came from nothing. You feel me? So it's like, doing what I'm doing right now make me feel a little proud. So I got to share with my family and friends, show them what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Then you never know, they might be needing help with their stuff. So them seeing me accomplishing things and learning more, that make them want to reach out, be like, hey, look, I have been having some troubles with this. So, could you come look at this? And then that brings more opportunities, and I make everybody else more comfortable. But let's get this old furnace up out of here. Pull that up out of there. And then we're going to clean the area, vacuum the area, because we're finna get this new unit up in here. And we want to make sure we ain't got no restrictions. We ain't got no crumbs, no nothing stopping us from what we got to do. We want to make the job go as smoothly as possible. And that's what you're going to see in this video too. You're going to see a smooth process. Even though I'm new, I'm a quick learner. So you show me something one time and I'm going to know it forever. So, and I already seen this process. You know what's crazy? I actually haven't seen this process. This was my first time doing the furnace process. So I was always doing air handlers instead of actual furnaces. This was the first time I did an install with a furnace, and it was the first time I did it by myself. So I actually did pretty good. I ain't messed nothing up. Got him running his AC real good because he was going through it for a little while. So I know this made him happy. But yeah, that's the new furnace. You see me unboxing. There go that new unit. And I'm gonna measure it up to see how much room I got and how much room I need to work with. Because you wanna know how much sheet metal you're gonna use. So I'm trying to see if I can put it in right now with what we got right here, or do I gotta cut off some? Because if I gotta cut off some, then I gotta make a whole new transition. But we're trying to see if we can use this transition. But more than likely, the way it's looking, it ain't looking good. That's like, it's way too short. So we're gonna have to cut it off. I mean, it's too long. That's what I meant to say. So we're gonna have to cut it off and create a new one. So right now I'm just getting the measurements up, and I'm just I always double check, triple check, just to make sure I'm, doing it right, because you don't want to waste none of that sheet metal, and that can be a pain in the, trying to go back and forth to the supply store or Home Depot to get more sheet metal. When you can just double check and triple check. And if you do that, you will save yourself a lot of time. Trust me. So right now I'm getting the measurements. I already got my measurements for my furnace, and I know how tall it is, and then I know how much I got to cut off on here. So right now I'm getting my not scribe, but I call it an ice pick, because that's what it looked like to me. But that's the HVAC ice pick. And I'm marking where I need to cut all around. And you can't see it, but trust me, I can see it. There you go. See, cut all around. So, drew all around a straight line. And right now you see me getting my snips. Cutting through that Pittsburgh. All my HVAC techs, y'all know that's annoying. Cutting through that Pittsburgh. And right now I'm cutting along that line. I cut enough on that end through the Pittsburgh, so I'll go to switch to this side. And this particular Pittsburgh piece was giving me a hard time. I literally was using all my strength, and it still felt like it wasn't enough. Like, man. And then I'm gonna show y'all a little bit later, maybe like a minute later, you're gonna see me using some 90-degree snips that my partner had with him. And I wish he would have told me a little earlier, but I'm definitely going to invest in some 90-degree snips, because those things get the most perfect angle. They got a left 90-degree and they got a right 90-degree snips. And I'm telling you, I used them and it made my life way better. These are the standard ones that you get, but they also got some 90 degree ones that literally get the best angle for this type of stuff right here. And I ain't want to get like too close to that stuff. You can see me leaning my head back, because I ain't gonna lie, that sheet metal, boy, that stuff gets sharp, especially when you cutting it. Boy, you don't want to get cut by that. And then I'm bald head. I don't want that to mess up my McGriddle. I ain't trying to make them mess my skillet up. They trying to scrape the skillet. You feel me? I ain't trying to, But yeah, after I got through that Pittsburgh, it was pretty easy though. I started going through it. I'm not gonna lie, this is a real hand workout. So I sped past that because I ain't want y'all to see all that. But these are the 90-degree snips that I'm talking about. You see how easily I'm cutting through it, because I get the best angle possible. Like, you can literally get the best angle possible. So see me cutting through that, make sure I get everything. Those sheet metal corners, boy, them things be sharp. So you want to make sure you get everything off. And when you clipping them, make sure you got some type of control. Them things pop off, boy. That thing pop you in the eye. Better make sure you have some glasses on. I know I sure have mine, especially on this part. Especially dealing with a lot of dust and stuff. When you dealing with an old unit, them old units, they be having a lot of dust and all that, them combustibles and everything. Like, so you don't want to breathe in none of that stuff. So you want to make sure you have a mask too. But yeah, there you go. I just finished that right there. So next thing is, now that I got that all cut out, I'm finna pull that last piece. Them things sharp too. Oh, them things sharp. That's like a splinter, but with metal. The next thing you do, you want to crimp the sides. Make sure they flatten out. The flatten crimper. And then now you want to see if your measurements was right. And from the back, I'm spot on. From the back left, I'm spot on. And then let me see the side back, spot on. And I believe this is what I kind of like went a little too far off. So I try to like make myself a believer and pull a transition a little bit, thinking it was gonna work. Nah, I ain't work. You off a little bit, buddy. So now it's cool that I'm off, as long as I got the top where it can just fit in perfectly. It's good. I'm gonna make my measurements right. So you take your pre-S cleats, and then you mark them where you want them, and then you gotta cut them. So I'm finna get those cut in to the perfect size. And then this part, I'm not gonna lie to you, like when you get to this part, this one it become like a breeze. Like, I don't even gonna lie to you, the whole process really is like a breeze. If you want to put it that way, it's just remembering what you need to remember. Like that's the whole thing about HVAC or any trade. It's like, just know what you need, the tools, and like have them ready. Because if you have your tools ready and you know exactly what you need and you got that all like right there, like it makes the job 10 times, man, skip that. It makes the job 100 times easier, because you got everything that you need like right then and there. So you don't gotta like worry about nothing. It's like, all right, boom, I'm at this step, I need this. I'm at that step, I need this. But right now you see me wiring my high voltage, and that's my high voltage, and got my wire caps on, doing my pull test, making sure ain't nothing loose, no loose wires in there. You always want to check for loose wires, because that can be a danger to your stuff. And now you see me hooking up my wires from my furnace and my wires that's going upstairs to the unit. And then you also want to do a pull test on these too, because those get the arcing, because they touching something that they ain't supposed to while they got the voltage and the amperes running through them. You're in a world of trouble. So now I'm gonna go ahead and measure and see what I need for my transition. So I get my measurements all around. And then you also, I didn't get it on camera because my battery started to run dead, so I had to go run and switch my battery. But you also get the width too, the width for the top and the width for the bottom, because you want to know how much you coming over and everything. So, but right now you just see me getting all my measurements. I actually had him do the transition. You just see me get my measurements, and then I told him the measurements, and he did the transition for me. So right now I'm hooking up the new gas line. I already hooked it up from one side, so now I'm gonna hook it up that's coming from the main source. It's coming from the city lines. And then you wanna make sure that fitting is doped up, and make sure it's screwed on tightly. And then we're gonna disconnect the old hose from the drain line, and we're gonna get a new hose, because that one is all look like it got caked up. So we're gonna put this new one on. And I actually had to open that hole up a little bit more, pause, because that was too tight, pause. So, and then that material in particular, that's a rough material. So as you can see me struggling to fit my ice pick in there. As soon as I did that though, it made it like instantly, whoop. Feel me? So then you want to, after you do that, you want to tighten that. You want to tighten that up. So you want to make sure that's airtight and all that water can flow through effortlessly. And then this flue, I actually fixed the flue. I didn't leave it like that, because I was just trying to see how much that I need, and then I can twist it and turn it how I want, as you about to see right now. And you're gonna crimp those up, because you needed 2 female sides and one was a male. 2 male sides can't fit on each other, so you gotta have a female and a male. Got that all fitted up. Slide that in there. And then this part, he did the brazing of the pipes. I wanted to do it, but he was done with his stuff upstairs already. He was moving faster than me, but he was done with his stuff upstairs, and then he had the tanks and stuff already. I believe I had grabbed my tanks after this. Like I might have grabbed my acetylene tanks, torch and everything, and all my brazing rods and everything. I might have grabbed my stuff like maybe the next day after this. So around this time, we was pretty much just using his stuff. So he just came down and did it, because he was already done with upstairs. So as he did that, he got them all good, nice, sealed and tight. So I went and brung out the sheet metal tape to start taping up the transition to assure maximum efficiency with the furnace and with the air handler, so it can push that air at a maximum efficiency. So you want to make sure that everything is sealed up. So that's what you're about to see me do right here. Yeah, man, just another time to sit back and reflect, man. I think I'm gonna eventually start doing like a little story time, just to like bring up little old stories and to give people inspiration, you know, maybe eventually if I start getting more subscribers and stuff and more viewership. Or I might just start doing that anyways, you know, because you never know who might be watching. Might be somebody watching that might get inspired by this type of stuff. You know, I ain't gonna lie, I wish I would have knew about this type of stuff early on when I was younger. Because I would have been up on some, you know, some legit paper early on instead of chasing, you know, chasing that fast money. I mean, fast money cool too if you got a real like plan. You know, you gotta have a real plan to like get that fast money and do something else. Because as long as you have a plan to get out there, you know, and make some legitimate money, that's cool. And I ain't gonna lie, that type of stuff run out eventually. You know, you're gonna be on the next thing, and the next thing might be more risky than than the last. Yeah. This type of stuff you can pass down generations and generations, and you know, your kids and grandkids can eat off of this knowledge. You know, that scamming stuff, you know, that's only for the time being, and then until they crack down or anything, you know. But that is what it is. They go to flute pipe, and no, I did not leave it like this. I just put it like this for example, and then you're gonna see it get fixed in 3, 2, 1. And right now you see me threading the drain line, because you don't want no leaking to come out. So I like to, they say only go around twice, but I like to go around at least 3 to 4 minimum, like 3 to 4 minimum. And test, that will be the door switch, and we got money, baby. There it is. That's the full install for the inside, and with a little story time on the side, you know. And like I told y'all earlier, you know, this is my time when I reflect and show my family and friends, you know, my little baby step accomplishments. You know, these are just the beginning steps of what I'm going to be doing, and how I'm going to be presenting myself, and how I'm going to be presenting my business, and how I'm going to be helping others. And so I like to show my little baby step accomplishments through the way. The reason why I say baby steps is because, you know, you got to take those small steps before you take them big ones. And these are my small steps before you start seeing the progress and the actual results from the progress. So this is just the beginning stages, and there's more to come. Trust me, it's way more to come. Got a lot more to show y'all, and I still got a lot more to learn. So I'm here. So this is me just cleaning up, you know, getting the last little bits and pieces cleaned up before we head on up out of there. And I'm glad y'all stayed this long. If y'all stayed this long, if y'all didn't fast forward, you know, everything is appreciated. Even the small views, even if it's under 100, everything is appreciated. And I know it's a journey. You don't just get 1 million views overnight. You know, you got to grind for it. So that's the filter. And thank y'all, man, for staying this long. Like I said, if y'all fast forward, it is what it is. Ain't tripping. A view is a view. But yeah, I don't really got too much more to say. Coming out with another video next week. I try to do them weekly. There's a lot of process behind it. You know, I got to edit and record, and you know, it's a lot behind it, especially when you're doing it, you know, by yourself. You're doing all the editing and everything, you know, so it's like, try to pull them out every week. But yeah, thank you. That's me closing up, and see y'all next time. I'm out.